The sheer amount of work listed on the to-do list of the average homeschooling parent is massive. So how do we get it all done without feeling overwhelmed? Hi, I am Rachel from 7 and All, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some key strategies that I use to get it all done throughout the everyday work days of my everyday life. Now, I do feel that I have to start off this video with the mandatory disclaimer that every single person uses, which is of course I don't do everything. And I kind of hate that disclaimer, and I hate that everyone feels like we have to say that because I feel like it's so obvious. Every single person makes judgment calls on what is a priority for their family and for what is not a priority for their family. Your workload is not the same as my workload. I have things I need to do that you don't need to do. You have things you need to do that I do not need to do. Everyone's workload, everyone's life circumstances are different, yet we all have the same need. We need to get our work done. So how do we do what needs to be done? Being able to identify what's in your box, what's your responsibility, what's your priority is incredibly helpful in knowing what do you need to get done. You have to be able to identify it in the first place. For me, I have basically 4 big things that I need to be doing to stay on top of my work throughout the week. Number 1, I need to be parenting and homeschooling. I am the primary stay-at-home caregiver for my young, small children who need a lot of supervision and a lot of care. And they also need to be educated. Number 2, I'm the one who's primarily in charge of the housework, taking care of my house and cooking. We gotta eat. We need breakfast and lunch and dinner and even snacks. We need all those things. Number 3, I am involved with a local tutoring center, and I do a couple hours of tutoring a few days a week. I've done this for many years. It's looked different in different seasons of life. This is what it looks like now. I'm committed to volunteering and working with these kids who need some help in their own education in a field that I'm very passionate about. And then number 4, I also work. I have my small business that I run of creating homeschool materials. So I need to be writing and editing those materials, creating them, working on my website, doing customer service, answering questions. So I also have my work in addition to, the rest of it. Those are my boxes. Those are my primary responsibilities as far as work. Yes, there are other things that happen in life as well, like having fun, socializing, exercising, fun things. But in this video, I'm talking about work and responsibilities. How can you make sure that the work of the day gets done when it seems like there's just so much of it? Because for everyone, no matter what your responsibilities are, I feel like it just always seems like there's not enough hours in the day. Because we tend, also this is just what parenting small children is like. They're intense, 24/7. So the first big strategy that I use is having habits or having rhythms. Do not be deceived about how much time and energy it can take to have to make decisions about what needs to get done. Making decisions takes energy. There's a heavy mental load already for most parents with all the different things that you're juggling, the different needs of all these tiny humans. So try to reduce that mental load whenever possible. And habits and rhythms are exactly how I do this throughout my life. Every day when I wake up at 5 a.m., I don't need to think about, what should I do now that I've woken up? No, I know the exact first thing that I do. I'll get a drink of water and I'll sit down and start working on my computer. And I typically jot down a task or 2 on my to-do list that will be top priority work items that I will do first thing when I wake up tomorrow morning. I know that I'm going to work. I don't need to think, should I do this? Should I do that? No, I'm gonna work. That's what I do first thing in the morning. Then other rhythms that play into my life is I wash all of our bed sheets every weekend. Every weekend we wash the bed sheets. That's just automatic. I don't need to think, when do I need to wash the bed sheets? And I don't even have this written down on a schedule or a paper everywhere. It's an ingrained habit. It's a rhythm that's been part of my life for years. We go to the grocery store on a certain day of the week. We have many, many different habits like this. When we clean our bathrooms, when we sweep and mop our floors, we have rhythms. We tend to keep it the same. Maybe some people would consider that boring, but for me, it's really helpful that I'm not constantly wondering what I should be doing. I'm just doing the next thing that I know I do. I'm not saying that every day is the same. No, every day is different. But these key repeating things that need to happen in life, I tend to do them at the same time, and that does make it easier because I'm not thinking about it. I'm not constantly having to make lists. This is a normal part of life that repeats again and again and again. Number 2, I don't wait for the perfect time to get anything done. And I think so many people can really get caught up in this, and they have a hard time with accomplishing tasks and getting things done because there's never enough time to do it. And I'm like, I know you want like an hour and a half so that you can really deep clean your kitchen. But maybe right now you have 10 minutes and you could clean out one cupboard. You know what? What I would do is I would just clean out that one cupboard. I would clean out the spice drawer right now in these few minutes. Oh, we're not ready to leave yet. We got a few minutes. Everyone's ready. Okay, I'll clean out this drawer. I'll do this small task. I'll count to 10 on fingers with my 3-year-old who's learning how to count. Use those scraps and pieces of time. I think so many people get caught up in, oh, there's not enough time to really do something, but small scraps of time, you can accomplish a lot when you just like, oh, I can use this. This is not time that must be wasted. I can actually use it. Number 3 tip is don't let work pile up. Part of this habit is instilled in me because of where I live. I never have a giant pile of dishes to wash. I never have a giant pile of laundry to wash, ever. Because ants will come to any dirty dish within like 20 minutes of when it's been used. I wash all dishes immediately, after breakfast, after lunch, after snack. We also don't own a lot of dishes. We don't even own enough dishes for us to have 2 complete meals without washing the dishes. Both of those things are very strong motivators that as soon as a dish is used, it gets washed. I wash them, my husband washes them, whoever gets the dishes washed as soon as they have been used. So it's never an onerous task. It's always a quick, you use them, quick, wash them, put them in the drying rack, they're done. Laundry too. I don't have a dryer. All I have is some space to hang up my clothes to dry, and it takes clothes a while to dry. So I cannot be letting clothes pile up and doing like max. I can do 2 loads and have 2 loads drying on the same day. That's absolute max. And my washing machine's not even that big. So I have to be making sure my laundry, I start it in the morning, I hang it up so that it can hang up through the heat of the day, hopefully dry by night, except for some of the thick things that might need to dry till the next day. Because of where I live, that has really instilled those habits, but I even kept them up when I lived in the USA because once the habits are ingrained, it's really hard to break them, and I think that they are good habits that when all of your jobs never pile up, they're never overwhelming. When I have a customer service issue that I need to deal with in my business email, I deal with it right away. I don't wait until a week full of emails have piled up. I check my email every day. I handle the problem right away. The last tip I have for you today is that I do stay very aware of different seasons in life and different levels that I might have of ability to work and take on commitments in different seasons. Right now, I'm in a season where I am healthy and strong. I have 2 rather intense small children, and I am not taking on any types of commitments where I need to be teaching at the front of a classroom and master of the classroom and not having a potential toddler needing to climb up into my arms and be attached to mama for some reason. I'm not taking on commitments like that because I am not in a season of life where I can trust that my toddler wouldn't jump on me while I'm trying to teach a class. I'm able to do my one-on-one tutoring sessions because my kids can be right with me there. I don't have situations where I can just drop them off and go and be part of something completely separate from them. So that's one example. Another example from a very, very different season of life was, some of you know this, I've talked about this before, but my pregnancy with my second son had some very serious and very scary complications. And my doctor basically told me, if you want to stay pregnant, you need to be in bed as much as possible, you need to stop activity, and you need to stop picking up your toddler. And It was a very difficult, very draining, very stressful pregnancy. We are all so grateful for the miracle of my little boy's life. But during that time, did I feel terribly guilty that I wasn't able to do all the work that I normally was able to do? Yes, I did, because we're crazy. We always want to be at peak, even when we're not at peak. I did wrestle with this. I can't even pick up. I have to call my sister to say, hey, can you come put the 1-year-old in his crib for nap time, because my doctor is saying your baby might die if you won't listen. Did I feel guilty about that? Yeah, I did, because I can't do what I normally can do, and I'm thinking the only thing I can do is try to stay pregnant, and I don't even know if I can do that. So this is my recognition that there are vastly different seasons in life. I'm not in that season, and I don't live like I'm in that season right now. I'm capable, I'm able to do many things I was not able to do then. But I also recognize in that season, I was working with what I had. I was doing my best, even when my best was calling on the phone for help to do something that wasn't medically safe for me to do, doing what I could do to try to stay pregnant. So that's my recognition that there are vastly different seasons. There are different situations can impact what we're able to do, and we need to make plans that fit what we are able to do in a certain season. And maybe it's something as simple as, yeah, I could, in theory, I could be a Sunday school teacher, but that would require me to get a babysitter and have somehow my kids in a different part of the church, because if they see me, they're gonna jump on me in this type of situation. So I can't be a Sunday school. You gotta be honest with yourself that no, your children are not mature enough for you to teach Sunday school yet. I have a Velcro toddler, that's what I call him. And I love my Velcro toddler. I love that he was born. So thankful. As you can tell, I get emotional when I think back on some of these different seasons in life. But I want to encourage you to think about what strategies you can implement to really look at the work of your day. Consider whether this amount of work and this amount of commitments is responsible and reasonable for your season of life, and then to implement strategies. If it is, then implement strategies to get it done. If these are the things that you truly need to get done, find the strategy, find those scraps of time, implement those habits, build up those habits that will help you to get the work done. We're all in this together, even if from all corners of the globe. I'll be seeing you. Bye.